Physically. Okay, it might not be this crap on top, but it's definitely got this touchpad, clickies.
Those are ergonomic keyboards to a new level.
It's the kind where it has like a little switch so it stays shut unless you pull the lever to open it. And then my favorite thing is it has the little circle.
What kind of way does it?
It's an ancient Lenovo. Like an ancient one.
Why is that so?
But
Yeah.
that ain't, it's still Windows 98. I've had dreams of just like Linux platform.
Well, so far, it's running good.
Yeah, but that's it. That this is
Oh,
custom related, doesn't it?
the.
Yeah.
Bro, we got the same exact thing, bro.
That's good.
Good evening, guys. Exactly. Thank you. It wasn't that bad.
So you're gonna show me today.
I'll show you how to.
Oh, this was great.
Throw that little thing.
When you see epsilon, you should return. Okay, after the procedure. Okay.
I think we got some.
Jesus, so small.
You might have to enter on Teams to be able to read. I started to wear glasses in my senior high school year. Usually I used to sit in the middle of the class as the semester progressed. I started moving forward without glasses, right? And I was like this in front of the class, and that's when I need to sit down. Does it rotate?
Yeah, rotate.
They rotate, oh, mess up your wrist.
I'll play that for the wrong answer.
This is my joint.
Yeah.
You're
Now I
not treating
understand.
your Lakers card nicely. Look at that. Awesome.
$10.
$10 a new one. Let me replace it. $10.
You'll be rich.
You go to blickers.com, you can.
Are you expecting these back at the end of the semester, by the way?
Yeah, and if the damage is $50.
Well, I wanted to write silly things on it, but then I'm like, but wait.
Have you seen these?
Look at Sorman.
They're waiting.
goal.
Look at this card stock.
This is going on off road.
Yeah.
Yeah, also. if you see
Well,
the-
I think it's a lot of reflection there.
Anything would. Okay, should be better.
Oh, I got it.
There you go. It's actually kind of wild.
All liners, you guys are not.
Something you don't think about, but hey, pandemic.
Are here.
Well, mostly are here. Yeah. There. Come on. You're not actually online.
40 times or something crazy per minute.
That is.
We still have
I read them like 5 times.
So the procedure will look at the next token, if token A process it, and then call itself, right? Because you have A and call itself. If it's token B, process and return. If it is not A or B, throw an exception. Is it the same?
It's
It's
different.
different.
It's similar though.
It's
But it's all-
oh, yeah, that's-
Oh, okay, that's nice. And I wrote the question. Attention to detail.
It's very different.
What looks like a chart?
It actually worked.
Don't try to code that. First, you have to remove the left recursive production. How would you do that?
Using the algorithm.
Should be an option like that, right? Just use the algorithm. Or ask the college students. Brazil, there was a question and answer type of show. There was a desk with college students. So when the guests didn't know the answer, they could ask the college students. College students, they always knew the right answer. All right. Okay. Good. Did you see homework? I got some message about homework 4. What's not clear about homework 4? Well, the algorithm refers to alpha and beta, right? Where which one? How can you identify alpha and beta? So if you look at the first, you want to replace these double A's, and you have 2 options, right? But because you have 2 A's, there's like 4 possible combinations. So you guys are gonna do that. Then you're gonna have something like, I can't say it without answering step 1. but maybe I can use different variables. Like if you have something like x going to, let's say, z, then you have something like ak. Okay, so you can consider this to be your beta. Okay, so you just apply the algorithm that says get the beta, right? So ak and put x prime, right? Okay, and then you do x prime, right? What's your alpha here? Z, right? So that's your alpha. So alpha x prime or x1. Okay. So
ZX prime? Should we put ZX prime or alpha X prime?
so x, we're talking about x, right? So x prime. So x prime goes to alpha. Yeah. I mean, alpha is z, right? Here. Okay. ZX. So many variables. All right. ZX. All right. So why did I say that this is better? Because it doesn't start with x, right? So that's the, let's say, the independence variables when you apply the algorithm, right?
So with beta, if it doesn't start with x, it can include x, but
It can include x, but if it doesn't start with x, that's beta.
So what if he didn't have anything for beta?
Then you can't
Couldn't
apply
solve
the
it.
algorithm, right?
Makes
And
sense.
so that's the case where you can't remove the left recursion.
And it's okay to have right recursion.
Yeah, the goal is to eliminate left recursion, but you're gonna have right recursion.
What if you have like X going to XX? Because then,
So you just consider the first x.
okay.
Because the second x will appear here, right? And it's going to x prime, so solve the problem. All right? So this is my hint. Let's do this. Since this has 4 steps and it's a little bit more challenging, how about it's 4 points? So if you got 3 out of 4 right, you still get the full points, and this is a bonus points, okay? So it will compensate some points
Just
that
do
you
4 points
missed.
from now on, so we can still like miss one and still pass the.
Yeah, I like to give bonus points. So this is the first time. So if you do all of them, you get 1 bonus point. But I'm gonna count as 3 points, and that extra point is gonna help you later. Okay? All right. So last time we discussed an implementation for the recursive descent parser. The first programming assignment is going to be, you have the option to use this implementation. So I think you guys need to practice more. We didn't have a lot of time to practice last time. Basically, just discussed the implementation. So I'm proposing today a practice activity day. If you go to in-class activities, there's activity 8. What we're going to do is we're going to write a parser for EBNF. Okay? So if the grammar is the actual EBNF specification. So if and the examples that we want to check syntactically if they're correct are EBNF grammar specification. So I want to check if this grammar specification is following EBNF definitions. Does that make sense? We're going to use EBNF on top of EBNF, right? Recursive, right? But start with, so here are some examples. I want to check if this is written correctly according to EBNF. Right, so I want to check that. And inside the source code, if you open, start with the token, because you have to define the tokens. There is the EBNF grammar. That's the EBNF grammar. Okay, so and this EBNF is written in EBNF. So how start by extracting the tokens. Right. So in EBNF, a token is anything that is in apostrophes, right? So this /n on enter is a token. There's a token created. It's the first one, new line, right? So new line, the value is going to be, this token represents a new line. Okay? Usually we ignore new lines, but for this case, that's part of the language, right? It's part of the grammar. So the new lines will have to be identified as tokens. What will be the next token here? Equal, right? So that's the next token. So go ahead and define all the tokens that you can see. That's the first step, okay? Once you're done, start thinking about how you're going to implement the lexicon analyzer. Test the lexicon analyzer, see if it works, see if it's identifying all the tokens from an EBNF grammar, and move on to the syntax analyzer, all right? Use your best judgment when defining tokens, okay? Sometimes it's not just because it's in apostrophe that you're going to define a token, right? So think first. Not a machine. You don't know?
I don't know. Letter.
Letters there. Looks like an identifier. You define a token for identifiers. I wouldn't use dash and underscore as tokens because they are part of the definition of an identifier. You just want to get the whole identifier passed through the parsers.
But then you can't define others, you're just doing.
Icons, brackets, bases, those are all tokens.
Something like.
Dash underscore. Character. Because is there any syntax needed to identify a single dash, a single underscore? Or is it better just to identify the whole identifier? Right? Yeah, I'll just define that. Yes. So it's that thing, guys. The characters that are used to build an identifier, those individual characters, I wouldn't define as individual tokens, because otherwise the scanner, the lexicon analyzer will be too granular. Does that make sense? So all that thing, you can let the scanner identify those things as an identifier or not, right? Because you don't want it to be that granular, right? You stop at some point. Typically for identifiers, literals, those things are tokens, and you don't want to get down to the details of how an identifier is defined. This is the list I have for tokens. See if it matches what you did.
So what's the difference in type from the meta identifier?
Because that symbol will allow EBNF to separate different statements, right? Different definitions, different terms. That's how EBNF calls. A single definition is a term followed by other terms, right? What is a term? A term can be an optional sequence or, oh, I see what you're saying. Messed up. No, the pipe that I was looking was this one, not this one. This one is EBNF. This one is saying that a definition list is single definition separated by a pipe. So you need to identify, the lexicon analyzer needs to identify the pipe symbol that separates, synthetically separates single definitions. So I was talking about this pipe here.
So the pipe has meaning where the underscore, the dash really doesn't?
No, because all of this is part of the meta identifier, and you're going to create a token for this. So it's almost like all of these things are embedded in the meta identifier token. Okay? You could go down to that level, but it will be more work for your scanner later, right? You could, for example, define each letter with a token. Letter A, token, letter B, but there'll be an explosion of tokens, okay? So usually for identifiers and literal values, you use the production to understand how these things are built, right? But their syntax meaning is so low level that usually the scanner, the lexicon analyzer, takes care of it.
So then the difference between the pipe and the underscore is that there's so many more combinations you can have for the meta identifier, so there's no real point to doing them individually.
Yeah, because if you were to represent this like a letter,
Yeah.
what is a letter? It's not even here, right?
Yeah, so you have to do that whole
Yeah. You could technically create a token for a letter, and a token for a digit, and a token for a dash, and a token for underscore. You could. I mean, I'm proposing that this will be too granular. Maybe you want to condense that and have the scanner recognize the whole identifier. So that reduces the number of tokens.
And we need the pipe, it's only the single one there, right?
Yeah, for this case here, what is a definition list? It's a sequence of single definitions separated by pipes. A single definition is too high level. It's different than a letter, right? A letter is very low level, easy to identify. But what is a single definition? So it's a lot. A single definition can be one or more terms. So those things leave for the parser to figure it out, right? But this here is so straightforward that the scanner can deal and just return the token for the whole identifier, okay? It's a suggestion, but you guys can do whatever you want. The same for terminal string. For example, did you define a quote as a token? Then you have characters, and then each character like a token. And then isn't it much better to identify the whole string and give a token value for the string? That's why I don't have single quote as a token. I have string as a token, integer as a token. I don't have specific digits, each digit as a token. The whole integer, the literal value, is going to be a token. Okay? All right, so move on and try to implement the lexicon analyzer based on those tokens.
Someone trying to jump into this. Just chat master. Yeah. So that's it.
The actual files.
Okay. Right, because that. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I did. Yeah, yeah. One of them says.
Anything. Yeah, let's go.
Grace. Grace.
I have no idea how to do that identifier, though.
What's that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Riley. Right.
Bro.
Riley.
Yeah.
You done? Are you done?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, it has to start with the letter.
Okay, no. So.
He's a attorney, that's right, it's first
We gotta check our app.
Where?
Yeah, so I think what.
Do you not have your act up?
So.
My current theory is they
Only that,
start
make it
with-
tough for me.
You don't have that.
If you,
It has, that's a character.
right, right, so.
Not a string.
There's, and if C is pointing at that, that's the character you're currently at, that's how you brace, you make a, use finagle and you make a token for an
So I still don't see a string, I know you're trying to explain it, but it's not.
So what's happening here is it's treating
So I have no
that
idea what my program's number.
middle single quote as the character. And that's your indicator. So as long as it's any string of characters between two of these single strings,
I think that's.
and it's determined.
Alright.
And it's just not helpful to the character we use to denote, hey, we're talking about a character, or itself, the character.
Yeah,
Yes, that's why it's 3. because it's two around one.
Yeah, it's cool.
So then you're checking for that one.
It's just grave symbols around an identifier.
Yeah, it's not super clear, but that's why there's three there, because the one in the middle is actually the.
It's the
character they're talking
character.
about.
That totally makes sense. What are you talking about?
Shut up.
My brain hurts.
But it's not user friendly, it's not intuitive, but that's what it's talking
It's
about.
gotta happen with one character.
Right, but when it looks the same as the
Right, but
characters
what's a
outside of it,
string?
How do
you go
create the
cross-eyed.
project? Pull.
Should have a cross-eyed.
So, strategy.
I'll show you a cross-eyed too. Oh, hey buddy, check it out, nice man. You get the same mask.
I know, we're rocking the same.
Where'd you get yours? This one.
Amazon.
Much?
Oh. I
Is that
got
copper fit mask?
Try to create a new project,
I know.
idea, Scala, and then copy the. They are low, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's.
sagging back and we're, winter's coming. Getting way too much information. Wow. Ignorance is bliss. High school. High school.
Terminal string. I think what I'm calling string is actually terminal string is the one within apostrophe, okay? I think I'm going to rename that, so we won't confuse with string as we know. It's a terminal string, it's the string enclosed in apostrophes.
Well, how do you know how long it'll be?
Just
end of line.
Like
So my next character, okay.
While in high school?
You'll read the characters as well. You see something that's not a character. Single quote.
Well, but, so this would be a while.
Yeah.
If Karen, if has.
Yeah.
Next. Well, no, because it's
Because
characters.
has letter
It's
has
characters.
has special has punctuation architecture.
We should ask that.
So I'm still looking at this this terminal string. So we know that the chapter 11 starts with that single.
Yeah,
So it shows
Starts with the apostrophe.
If it starts with the apostrophe,
Yeah,
then it'll
whatever
go
it's inside.
any number of characters and then ends with an apostrophe,
Yeah.
right?
Then you have to decide whether you're gonna accept multi-line
Something's not right.
and your strings are not.
Right.
Maybe not.
Yeah. it
Cool,
sounds
I'm
simple
glad
enough.
I'm not in it
But
right now.
What happens if, so do we need to define
What it's saying is anything
function
below that.
to find these apostrophes?
No.
Or is it hard to know? Has letter, has the, has special, has
You
letter.
just compares
Don't check.
characters
Character,
to,
single
yeah.
character.
Because once you refer.
So if we have like,
But what happens if there's a bunch of those apostrophes at the end?
Because return.
so if you have like
Is it big?
Yeah.
one apostrophe,
I think that's why it's
couple apostrophes, and then a closing apostrophe, that would technically be a.
What I'm seeing, just,
Yeah.
Like the
Color.
apostrophe, it's gonna start a loop searching for this closing apostrophe.
once it finds it, it's gonna return the
That
string.
is
Yeah, you got it.
That is a terminal string.
Okay.
There's another post, that's another terminal string.
Okay, so is it capable of returning an empty string if there's nothing in between the next two?
You can say, if you want, be a little bit smart and say, oh, you
So
can have
here it uses backticks.
terminal string.
Okay.
That's your parents, something style.
It doesn't
Okay.
work.
Keep it real simple.
Kiss, right?
Yes, sir.
I can do the meta.
Yeah, that's one. Minor all.
It's down here.
Yeah, so. Identifiers.
So.
Yeah, it does.
So annoying.
Hashtag
Done a map.
does check.
Why did I do a hash maps right?
You love hash maps.
It was just,
Backslash, huh?
it works.
So it's just forward kick.
That's what I'm doing, but it's stupid.
Endless piles of else-if statements.
Guys, come on, go to that.
Hey, you have massive piles of else-if statements.
Yes. No, no, because remember. Yeah. So remember what you have is-
Minus and the numbers.
Those are both.
So far.
I saw what he was doing. Give you a value.
Well, look at this example. Yeah, I might have to look
No,
at
you just say you see.
this.
I'm checking for a backslash. backslash? I don't have a backslash.
Oh, sorry. I'm not talking to
Really attractive. Yeah, sure. Not bad idea. These are all good. It's just too high. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, look at that. It feels like it's advanced.
So I have to copy.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not rude. I think it'd be better just make all of that. First.
This is
Yeah, so like, see what I have, so under activity source, files, I don't have.
He wrote that, right, actually.
So just get rid of that. But don't delete it, don't delete it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just also all the detail.
You got it. Just set that as. No, yeah, yep. Getting a string in things. I'm still having problems. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, he was able to run it, but then I couldn't find his input files.
Oh, so they should be in the roots folder, so.
I think he's.
No, the EBN.
It looks like they are. Yeah, I think they
Oh,
are.
they are, so they should be.
Yeah.
So what happens when you run?
Lose everything for some reason.
Oh, I run it, and it's weird. Okay. Yeah, it's good. So, yeah. And, that's why they
Submit the equal sign, yeah.
Well, this morning.
Well, no, you didn't do underscore.
Did you get vaccines already?
For underscore.
It's, the last. It doesn't.
For all these ones, not for all. I don't know.
I
if there's
just-
like-
I haven't done it over yet.
But the rest of them.
Did you run it?
Well, no, it's the same.
Those.
No, but remember, we're checking.
That's one of them. Wasn't that one of them? I thought I saw one. Maybe still, like, principle. That, so you just check if it's in the map, so your value, which is gonna be.
Has.
So this is where you go. String and integer.
So when you run this. Do this, build independent. Reading product.
I had this problem with my last program. It took me literally 3 hours just to figure out how to run it.
Do you mind if I?
Yeah, but where is it?
How did you copy this one? Just try to open it. That's the problem.
This is a Scala project, that's not a job.
Oh,
You gotta do the other part.
whatever.
That's what I did.
Maybe I.
Well, checks for the, checks the apostrophe, and then a while loop of every,
Like if get charged, say,
if C is an apostrophe, C equals L, so, yeah. Then a while loop of every type of has there is. And then once in a while, it checks for another one. As long as the string is
Wait,
empty,
did you run
it
this?
says a string.
The lexical analysis.
But I'm having trouble breaking out of the loop where I find the underscore. Even though it grabs the next character and sees the next character is a letter. Because it's rolled up cool, you know, return on, so for whatever reason, it's not recognized from. Should it say C equals next word? Why is it recognizing on this?
I recognize this.
This is a program.
This is what?
You can't hear?
Yes, yeah, you said, way back in the day. Bro, I mean, these things
It's wonderful.
are awesome.
I need them.
Even if you're not Pythoning, they're awesome.
Okay, so why is that happening? Because You still
Why
get
does
this
it want to
to-
do this?
Right,
Get
so-
here.
Shouldn't
I already have a
character.
Which one are you using?
That's the actually.
Right now, this tactic, so I can tell by the output that it hits the underscore and exits a while loop and returns to it. And then it doesn't add anything off to the thing because my because the only place it's gonna check for this is after there's a letter. It says this is something that it doesn't have any returning. Because it's not a token. So then it throws some breakpoint on it. You think for a while.
Filling, yeah, and then put a click on it, and then put a filling on it, like, when C equals underscore. Because I don't know why that's happening.
Is that how you're building your?
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's good.
Oh, my computer.
How about when
Meta.
you get charged? Oh, that's why. Because you get charged.
Like as the condition.
Yeah.
What's going on? I had no idea.
Actually, that's the issue, because you're not updating C, are you?
I might not be.
I don't even see why we have C at all. Just use get charged, because that's already always current. You know, get charged equals equals.
Oh, yeah, it needs to be a lot of.
The underscore.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay.
Because it's not, that only works one time, right? And then it never updates C.
It's obviously separating.
Yeah, there it is, okay. So just change this to get charged, that's get charged.
You get rid of C entirely.
Okay, that's copy. Not the language, calm down.
Well, it's not-
You're gonna trigger him.
He explained why he appreciates C, and I respect that.
Also because we're trying to optimize other languages, C comes in handy.
The one that I pulled.
No, so you do all your Q scripting, and then when shit starts to scale, you gotta.
I made it further. I have to still keep working on it, but I made it further down the list before it
Alright,
crashed.
cool, send me that so I can have it changed.
What do we do explore?
But
All programs.
Oh, right. So,
I have to use new line three.
that's one more.
Start chewing on that.
No, but you're next time.
Oh, I won. Wait, no, I don't want one. Because I made bool underscore expression. Yours
Why did you
works
have
better
a-
than mine. And then I got the equals, and then bool expression, and then I got the other friend, and then when I hit this string, that's when it breaks. So I'm still, my string logic is still incorrect. But my underscore, my meta identifier logic works. It's, this is where it breaks, it's right here. And
It breaks when it gets to an end.
it breaks when it gets to this open paren, which tells me that my logic involving this section is broken.
Well, right. Well, that has nothing to do with it.
So apparently the single quote is not the same character as the single quote.
No, not that.
Okay, I'm getting rid of C.
I've had this problem before.
No, not mine.
All right, guys,
Getting rid of C.
how's it going?
I'm going to actually, let Melody do it.
It should work for all the grammars, but the Python EBNF was a last minute. I just copied EBNF that I saw written for Python. I just pasted there, but apparently not all terminal strings are enclosed in apostrophes, so it's not working. But all the others should work. Let me show you how it's working here.
We didn't.
see a problem.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I changed this read blanks.
I saw that.
You saw that, right? Because the blanks originally included the new line, but because the new line is going to be part of the grammar, I excluded from blanks. So it will not ignore the new line. So new line was removed from blanks because it's a token for the grammar. Okay. It's very repetitive. I just made a bunch of copy and paste. The next starts by removing blanks, so read blanks, and then get char and concatenate the character to this str, and then start evaluating. If the character is a new line, consume the character. Remember, if you touch the plate, you have to eat it. Remember the mess up I did. So it's the same here. I touched. I want to consume this, right? I want to return the lexeme, so I need to call next char to consume the input. And I'm going to return new line. If it's not new line, if it's equal, return equal. So it's very repetitive. If it's a pipe, return pipe, and so on.
Professor, how does the first one work? Does it read \n as being only one character? You then get character once.
Yeah,
So
so
wouldn't there only be the backslash there?
you're talking about /n?
Yeah.
Yeah, so /n is considered one character because it's a escape character. Anything that starts with a slash, like a backslash, it's considered one. It's a escape character. It counts as one. Okay. Good question. Then things start to be more complicated when you read a apostrophe or backtick. I don't know how you call that. So the apostrophe here, it means that I'm about to read a terminal string, right? So what I'm doing is I move forward and I keep running this loop here as long as it's not in the file and the character, and that's a decision you have to make. Are you going to accept terminal strings that are multi-line or not? I personally, I don't like the terminal strings to be multi-line. I think it doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's why I'm not accepting new, I accept any characters inside the apostrophes as long as they're not end of file, right? Or new line. Because if it goes to the new line, then that's a problem. You're trying to do a multi-line terminal string, that's not cool. So that's why I'm checking this. And the character that I'm reading is not the terminator apostrophe, right? So, and I keep whatever character that I'm reading that is not in the file, that is not a new line, and it's not a apostrophe, I keep accumulating in str. Eventually, I'm going to leave this loop, and what I'm expecting when I leave this loop, ideal condition, is that I left the loop because I read the closing apostrophe. So if I'm reading the closing apostrophe, I should accumulate, consume, and then return. It's a terminal string, right? If I haven't returned, I should have returned, I should throw an exception, right? And then the exception will eventually reach at the end of this procedure. Because at the end here, if I haven't returned, I should throw an exception. Okay, so I just let it go. Okay? That's how you recognize terminal strings. Yeah, just be careful when you're doing a while loop. Make sure you check for end of file. That's important. Okay. Questions? Okay. So moving on. Well, if it is a letter, it's a meta identifier. The meta identifier, I consume and keep running this loop. As long as it's not an end of file and I'm reading a letter or a digit, right? Because I already know that the first one is a letter. Those are for the next ones. It has to be a letter or a digit or a dash or an underscore. Keep accumulating. At the end of this process, I should return a meta identifier. There's no if testing here like we did here for this one, because remember, I need to check if the terminal string is terminated with a closing apostrophe. That's not the case here. If I'm reading anything, I already read at least one letter, right? So if I'm reading anything different than that, including end of file, I still need to recognize the identifier. So I just return. And for digit, it's very easy too. If I'm reading a digit, I keep running a loop here, checking for more digits, accumulating, and at the end of this process, I return an integer. Okay? This was for debugging. So let's run the code. I already have our statements DBNF. Run this. Statements DBNF is this. Very long, right? So statement STMT is a meta identifier. Then you have the equal sign. Then you have declare as a terminal string. Identifier as a meta identifier. And then opening brace, meta identifier, close brace. Not cool, right? The new line was shown with the new line, but that's okay. If you don't like that, just make sure that you change the label to something like new line. It's an easy fix. That's good. Right here, right? So we don't want this. We just want something like new line. Or if you want to actually see the slash slash, you can use slash slash n, right? And I'm escaping the escape, right? Okay, so now we see the slash n because I escaped the escape. So new line, identifier, so it looks good. Each letter, right, is a terminal string. Okay.
Can you explain why we use the read links again?
If I'm here, I want to do this. It's two valid, right? I want to do a tab two tabs. I still want to skip all these blanks, all these spaces and tabs. So it still works because the read blanks will move forward as long as it's a space or a tab. It just moves forward. Okay. Any other questions? You want me to push this code so you can, if you haven't finished this or you're not close to finish the lexical, you can still move to the syntax analyzer starting over because we don't have a lot of time. So let me do that. And we can talk about the syntax analyzer. Okay.
I got rid of C entirely. Which always get jar. C is on that extra statement. Chart equals the underscore.
That is like.
So every single one of these are
Where
C
do you
and
get
replace C with get jar. So that one updates.
Notepad plus. Yeah, I would say so. Lots of really.
Oh, really? I still can't get the terminals.
I'm gonna copy the solutions.
Peek under the hood.
Yeah, you got the wrong codes, so what you have to do.
Well, no, I've got this is I'm looking at this, and it's the apostrophe.
Bro, I literally spent more time trying to copy that apostrophe. No idea. Wrong folder.
Oh, you
Okay,
cheated.
so there's a solutions folder.
Is that really what it is?
That's probably what it is. That's what got me. I was like.
So the syntax analyzer now.
I hit further. Now we're.
You see the parse function is calling parse syntax because that's the first production you have. What is a parse syntax? You just need to code this. Remember, each of these parse functions, they should create a node tree, right, with the name of the where you are, right? And then follow what's saying here. This is saying that you should call our syntax rule, right? And after that, you should try to see if there is a new line token. There's a new line token, you're gonna call syntax rule again. Keep doing that. If when syntax rule returns, you don't see a new line, you should just return the tree that you built. Focus on each function at a time. Be methodical because it's very repetitive. Don't lose track where you are.
Literally cannot. Literally good question.
So there's a question on it.
I knew we were done, but I want to put
Yeah, I wasn't.
You obsessive son of a gun.
Oh yeah. So for homework 3, I took 1 point. Although you probably got kind of upset, right? Let's do it this way.
I was ready to riot.
You were upset because you passed all the tests. But the problem was the tests weren't thorough, right? Yeah, blame me, right? I didn't do a good test set. But as I was grading, I realized that you were you weren't recognizing the identifiers correctly according to the grammar. So identifiers starting with the @ symbol or special symbol shouldn't be allowed. And you weren't passing this test that I created later. Yeah. So sorry that I didn't provide all the good testing set, but to be honest, you didn't follow the grammar, so that's why you lost 1 point. But I'm kind of giving you 1 point back with the bonus
Sir,
point.
this is a false sense of security, because every class I've had with you, if I pass those tests, I'm supposed to get an A.
Yeah, but there's nowhere in the syllabus that said that. So you can't sue me.
I always sue someone, it's a question.
Always gets you with the legal mumbo jumbo.
Come on, let's average, right? I took 1 point, I'm giving you 1 point back.
Just
Fair.
do
Balance out.
just do the homework and we'll be good.
Next homework, I'll give you another bonus point. I'll come up with lots
I'll
of.
start writing my own tests.
That's what I did.
I'll take Malcolm's. I don't know if I want to take Malcolm's test.
But I know what happened. You did this homework really quick, right? You had other things to do. You passed all the tests and said, there you go, pass all the tests. Submit. So next time, just think a little bit more.
So there.
Just because you passed all the tests, maybe the tests weren't all complete. Yeah, but I agree. It's I would be upset too if I was on your side.
He's just pushed it.
So really quick here.
Just 6 minutes ago.
It's okay. It's red because you should write that math. You have to create the new chain. next, let's see. I forgot the price.
They did the same thing.
Okay, so you're gonna keep running this loop. You're basically implementing the production, right? Oh, I forgot to return the tree. Okay, so this, what is how you check the syntax for syntax? So syntax, it's a syntax rule. So first you create the node. You call parse syntax rule, adding as a branch to this tree. And as long as you're reading new line, you process that new line token, calling next lexeme. But before you do that, you get the label of the lexeme and add as a branch to the node. And then you call parse syntax rule again. Because after the new line, you should have a syntax rule. You keep doing that. Or you don't do any iteration at all if the next token is something different than new line. So you're done. At the end, you return the tree. So you're done. Just need to move and implement parse syntax rule. What is parse syntax rule? Go here, copy, and do it. I think this grammar is very easy to implement. Do parse syntax rule now. That one doesn't even have a loop, right? Unfortunately, you can't do incremental testing because you need to be able to parse the whole grammar. Yes, you could, right? Could at some point just return. What is this supposed to be doing? Current parse syntax rules. All parse meta
Oh, so it is the mapping.
You are processing that rule because you're doing top down. Start with syntax. The syntax is made of syntax rules separated by new lines. So this is the next level. What is the parse syntax rule? So you go down, parse syntax to eventually you're gonna start processing terminal strings, right? At this point, you're still
You have a terminal string. Really?
the top-down process. Start with the start symbol of the grammar, which is parse syntax.
Is this recursive?
No, there's no recursion because you don't see syntax rule on the right side of the document.
Multicultural cinema.
It's straightforward.
It is awesome, but we just want to release it. What? Zero, one. One final paper. Both of these are small ones. I know the poison.
This one should be
like American movie.
really quick, right? This is
It was a good class. If you like watching writing about
syntax dash rule. I'm gonna call parse as the identifier. Hey, wait a minute. Should I call parse meta identifier? Ah, right. That's already coming as a token from the lexicon analyzer. Okay, so we can just recognize the token. But of course, we need to check if it's actually a meta identifier, right? It's not just, oh, accept whatever it is. No. Let's check. Really? Okay, so if seem get token equals to token identifier, it's good. So now we need to read the equals. You can copy and paste. This should be var. This should be what? Equal, right?
We do an else there if there's no equal.
Throw an exception, right? Definitions list. Okay, so according to what is a syntax rule is a meta identifier. That's the token. So we should check if the token that is coming is a meta identifier. If not, this is the else, we say meta identifier expect. If it's a meta identifier, we add as a branch to our tree node, consume, get the next lexeme, check if it's an equal token. If it's equal, we add the label equal and move forward, consume the token, and then after that, we need to call definitions list. So tree add parse definitions list, a method that we still need to implement. If it's not an equal sign right after the meta identifier, we throw an exception. This is a syntax error. You can say syntax error, right? Yeah. So the process is repetitive. Can be, you can write a program that can easily implement the parser for you. Okay, so your programming assignment, I'm going to be sending to you guys tomorrow. You get 2 weeks. And it's going to be very similar to this. So, of course, it's going to be a different grammar. Okay? And, it's the process, you can use the same algorithm, or you can create one from scratch. Doesn't matter. As long as you are implementing iterators between each step. I wanted to be able to combine lexicon analyzer, even my lexicon analyzer should be able to, you should be able to use my lexicon analyzer, or I should be able to use your lexicon analyzer. If you implement with iterators using the same interface, I don't care how you implement it, but I should be able to integrate those things. Okay.
Are you gonna push it?
Yeah, I'm gonna push that. Actually, sorry. Yeah, I can push this now. And later today, I can finish and push the whole thing. You can use as a reference. All right. Gotta go to church. It's actually the syntax analyzer. I see you on Thursday.
Well, that was the whole barrel. Can somebody de-juice me, please? God bless.
You said monkeys a lot? You said monkeys a lot.
Did I?
No.
You said something that I was like, I was like, man, you should not say that. Something.
I'm trying to think, like, was it super recent? Because I can really think of.
It was like,
Everybody works inside there.
It's gonna come on.
Are they still in now?
It's not my goal.
Yeah, Fridays, Friday, Fridays work better? Yeah.
I'd love to go
Yeah,
to
Fridays. Okay, Fridays it is.
Fridays are fine with me
Friday.
generally.
I usually don't work till 3:30 now, so.
This Friday? Yeah.
This
Yeah, if we get like 8 people, just so we can get like the big time. You know?
Oh,
I kind of.
he was here, one of us like sticking out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, I haven't,
How about
been there like,
I'll just show up.
Yeah, yeah. And then.
What's the one?
Try to submit a home probably the partial credit.
I did.
Did you get it right? Let me.
You know, like, basically, birthday, like, Kristen, DC level. I can't actually.
Yeah, that's slide 7. Yeah, that on.
oh, okay, cool, thank you.
That's been my luck of the draw, is I've been getting like nonstop people who know exactly what they're doing and they can help me out. Like, it blows me away how much some of these people can do and know.